So you can pay up front monthly and then no co-payments, or don't pay monthly and then pay co-payments. But you're gonna pay somewhere for your health care on this side. Being an insurance company offering it, they can offer other insurances in their plan. So dental, vision, hearing, chiropractor, different things that aren't covered by original Medicare can be put into here. They do offer, some plans have food benefit, some plans have a utility benefit. So it depends on, when you're meeting with the person, what their needs are. Over here, this is a la carte. So I like to say a la carte, all inclusive. You get the supplement, you get the Part D, you need dental, vision, hearing, you need dental, vision, hearing. You still pay for your gym membership. You get other plans to cover the other things you need. All inclusive, has everything all wrapped into it. This does have networks though. So HMO, PPO, there's different plans broken down by letters. Plan N and G are the most popular plans. After 2020, 2021, you couldn't get a Plan F, and that's discontinued. Plan G covers everything but your deductible. And then you have to get a prescription drug plan. If you don't get a prescription drug plan at the time, you can get penalized to get it later. So it's always good to get it when you have that option. These are the different supplement plans available. Like I said, G is the most popular because it covers pretty much everything across the board. You get some foreign travel, which is nice to have as well. Plan N is the next favorite. It covers pretty much everything but this one, which is Part B, excess charges. So if you go to the doctor and they have something above and beyond their original pay, then that's what that is. So this is an area you don't really know what it is. So sometimes people go on Plan N because it costs less upfront on a monthly basis than the Plan G. And you can move back and forth between the plans through the years if people are healthy. Part C benefits, we went over dental, vision, hearing. They have a lot of wellness tests built in that are covered. So always, they want you to stay healthy. There's no premium, no out-of-pocket insurance. You have out-of-pocket maximums, so the most you pay in co-payments over the course of the year. So they have a MOOP, M-O-O-P, maximum out-of-pocket. It's generally between $2,000 and $10,000 depending on the plan. But as you're paying over the course of the year, your co-payments go, subtract from that, and when that gets down to zero, then you don't pay anything past that for the rest of the year. There's no deductibles like our current plans. We have to pay a premium and a deductible, and then the insurance kicks in, and then a maximum out of pocket. Medicare Advantage works kind of like that, except there's no premium, no deductible, co-payments for service, and a max out. The Part D covers the drugs. So not all drugs are covered. You just got to remember that there's different plans with different formularies. So the formulary is what drugs are covered under that plan. So whenever you're talking with somebody, that's why we get all their doctors and their drugs that they're on, so we can check it against the system to see what plans are available to them that work the best, that cover their drugs at the least amount of cost. This is the IRMA. So the IRMA does go for the Part B and the Part D. So if your income's too high, you're going to pay a little bit more for your prescription drug plan as well. There is an annual deductible. That's the first step for the Part D. Generally, it's about $590. And then you go into co-payments. So you pay the first $590 of the cost of the drug if there's a deductible on it. So the full amount, up to $590. Then you pay co-payments depending on the tier level of the drug. So tier 1, generics preferred, are less expensive than tier 3 and 4. Tier 1 and 2 are usually cheaper drugs, and the other ones are more expensive. There is a $2,000 cap as of this year on all formulary drugs. The most you'll pay in deductibles and co-payments over the course of the year. When you hit $2,000, then there's no more cost for drugs for the client. And they can spread that out over the course of the year if they want, instead of paying it monthly. They just add up the total cost, break it down to a monthly payment, a set monthly payment for the year, and then they pay that. Or they just pay it as they go, and then when they hit $2,000, they stop paying the rest of the year. Make a decision. What should you choose, 1 or 2? Basically, when you're sitting down with a person, this is more towards T65, turning 65. When you're sitting down with a person, you want to determine what's best fit for them. Now, we're as brokers, we can offer both plans. There's a monthly cost for the Medigap plan, plus the prescription drug plan, plus they pay the $185. Everyone pays the $185. If the other option, there's you pay the $185 and then there's no cost for the plan, the all-inclusive plan, and then there's premiums as they go. So you kind of want to, when you meet with people, you get their doctors and drugs, run them through both plans, see what they do. If they're not using doctors, if they're pretty healthy, they can go either way. If they have a lot of doctors, maybe the supplement's better because they get unlimited coverage. But then you have to determine their income too. So if they're retiring and they're only going to live off their Social Security, then you got to see how much how much that is, and then what their expenses are going to be. They might not be able to afford, the $150 plus, the $300-400 worth of that, and this would be a better suited plan. If they're traveling, sometimes it's better to go to the supplement if they live in 2 different states. If they're not, if they're seeing the same doctor and they don't plan on doing anything and moving, and sometimes the Advantage is a little bit better. But it's really looking at all the options and then figuring out what's best. Additional considerations, special needs. If they have chronic pain, if there's something wrong, so it's always good to ask health questions just to see where they are physically, because there's some plans made for other people